And that shows that what we focus on is the beauty of our human nature. We focus on the joy of a conscience, whether the conscience is rattled and bothered, which can be healthy, or whether it's clean. That's what we focus on, because we focus on hearts and minds when we come out here. That's why abortion workers convert. That's why women turn around. That's why we hear so many of these beautiful stories. And when that happens, they lose money. And you cannot run an abortion facility without not just doing abortions, but doing a lot of abortions. So when you come out here, you are ending abortion. You're defunding your local abortion facility, and you're doing it through the best means possible, which is prayer, fasting, and speaking to the head and the heart. There is one side of this debate that is speaking to the head and the hearts of women, and it's the pro-life side. I mean, it is so condescending that they just assume that all women are just clamoring to book rental cars and flights and park at airports and get in the car and fly to California and have an abortion alone and celebrate it and fly back. Who do some of these companies think who are working for them? No woman wants to have an abortion. These companies are saying they're going to pay for their travel. That's another overestimation. The average woman who has an abortion tells one person before they do it. And it's obviously the person who drives them. Afterwards, they may tell more, but that takes time, and we know how that works. But before you tell one person, who is going to go into their HR director's office or their boss's office? I mean, no matter where you work, it's always difficult where you're like, hey, I don't think my dental plan's working, or, I need this adjustment. Those conversations are hard enough. You're not going in and saying, I need the $5,000 because I'm going to California to have an abortion, and have your boss go, good for you, we're so proud, come here, I want you to speak at our next conference. That's not how abortion works. Nobody wants one. No one's ever wanted one. And that is the tremendous advantage we have in a post-Roe world, that we recognize the reality of abortion. It's not a commodity. It's not just a talking point. It's not something we pound on the table. It is something we realize its nature, which is evil, painful, and something no little girl grows up wanting to do. And that is the tremendous advantage that we have in a post-Roe America. And that's why we didn't burn our country down like we did in 2020 when they overturned Roe. There was a few weeks of violence and it all went away. Because we've had this schizophrenic relationship with the unborn for 50 years, where we miraculously do surgeries on unborn children. We won't even let a pregnant woman get on a roller coaster. It's very harsh of us as a society. We make them wear seatbelts, even though it's my body, my choice. We have all of these things where we defend the unborn. We put Scott Peterson on death row for second-degree murder because he killed his pregnant wife. The little baby boy's name is Connor, and his name was read at the verdict. So we can't have this beautiful love of the unborn, which our country does more for the unborn than any other country with our medicine and our technology, and then at the same time say we can will this person out of existence all through 40 weeks. And that's why Sandra Day O'Connor said that Roe was on a collision course with itself because of science. And that collision course happened on June 24th, and it got sent back to the states, and now it is about hearts and minds, and that is the strength of the pro-life movement. Planned Parenthood has done a great job at pouring money into Washington, D.C. and into politicians, and they could always rely on Roe. That's why Roe was so bad. And they were fat and happy with Roe, and that worked. That worked. That is God's great sense of humor. We have the most pro-abortion government we've ever had in our history, and yet that's when Roe v. Wade was overturned. And